Shalom, everyone. I'm Pastor Russell, and I'm here with Paul. He is going to be sharing with us an awesome testimony today, and kind of the vision that we have this season for Sukkot is we wanted to show the nations returning from their land to Israel. And as we're going on this journey from our land back to Israel, back to our Hebrew roots, we stop over here in this I guess some call it little, but it's actually a big city, Brandon. We stop over here and we say, here's Brandon, here's Beit Tehila, here's a place where we're going to learn about God's name, learn about the feast days, and that's what we're doing here at Beit Tehila. And one of the awesome things we get to do every Shabbat is celebrate celebrate what God's doing through Israel here, and celebrate our God, number one, but also just to see the nations returning. That's what we get to see every week. We get to see the nations returning. And so one of the nations that are coming back here is the country of Jamaica. And Paul, being from Jamaica, is going to share with us a little bit here. And so maybe, Paul, can you introduce yourself? I know a lot of people have seen you in church, have walked by you, but maybe you can tell us a little bit about you and your name and where you come from and all that.
Yes, well, my name is Paul Robinson, and I'm from Jamaica. And my family is from Jamaica. And I was brought up in a Christian home. My father is a pastor. He's passed now in about 2 months. My mother is an evangelist, and the church that they were pastoring is called the Berean Church of God. And from our early age, I come to the knowledge of Christ. I was saved at about 12 years. And when I was about the age of 26, let me go back and give you a little bit of history before I give you something about when I came to this country. In Jamaica, we were colonized by the English, but before that, Spain came over and colonized Jamaica, but the English came and fought with the Spaniard and won. And so Jamaica speaks English. Well, we speak a dialect called Patois. And what Patois is a mixture of English and some of the African languages.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's why I get this accent. So going back now to when age 26, I came over to this country, the United States, and I was still hungry. I was always asking myself, why aren't people obeying the Ten Commandments? Wow. The Ten Commandments was given to Moses. And we as Christians, we obey the 9 of those commandments, but the 4th commandment, which is to keep the Sabbath holy. From a young age, I was, wanted to find out why aren't we keeping the Sabbath? I even went as far as to go to a Seventh-day Adventist church in the early 1990s. And it was still on my heart. Why aren't we celebrating one of the most holy days that God said that we should celebrate? And so I was getting frustrated. And it's as if I was being dried up on the vine. I said, look, this is not working out. I went to the pastor and I told the pastor, look, why aren't we doing the commandments of God? And why aren't we, I didn't even recall telling him about the feast days. The feast days is a bonus when I got here. The number one reason I said, why aren't we not doing the Sabbath?
Wow.
And I told him, look, I gotta do what God says. I can't do what man says. I need to do what God says. So I was on the internet and I said, look, which church do the full gospel with the full scriptures from Genesis to Revelation? And the first church that came was Beit, Tehila.
Wow.
And
Praise
so
God.
and so as I start coming here in Beit Tehila about 9 years now, and I've never. It's like when in the scripture, this man he sells everything. He went to the field and he saw some gold or some jewels or something in that field. So he went and sell everything so that he could purchase that field. So that's what I did. I said I sold everything to know that God has really revealed to me about the Sabbath, and the bonus package is to learn and to understand about the feast days of God. Because the feast days of God it's for us.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's for all human beings. Because what we have to understand is that God is not a liar. I mean, he said whatever he said in his words, he meant it.
Yes.
And so I'm really honored and I'm really glad to be a member of
Praise God.
Beit Tehila, because my life has been fulfilled and I'll never go back.
It's exciting to see Jamaica and you not even really understanding the Hebrew roots movement or the Torah,
Right.
but you actually said the Lord was working in your heart saying, I want to get Shabbat.
Amen.
That's what it has to
Amen.
start. How do we start the conversation?
Well, Pastor Russell, first and foremost, we need to pray for the nation. That's
awesome.
That's
right.
We need to pray. Let God open up their minds and their understanding. I was talking to Pastor Nick a couple of months ago, and I said to him, man, why couldn't I have come to the understanding of this? The Hebrew roots of the Christian faith. And he said that, he told me that when you had the Hebrew, that's when the Lord wanted you to come into the Hebrew roots of the Christian. I'm saying to myself, but I could have avoided a lot of stuff, but and I accept his argument. But yes, first and foremost is prayer. Is because now you see, just like Paul. Paul think he was doing God a service when he was persecuting the Christians.
Yeah.
Some of our friends in Africa, they are in the Caribbean or Jamaica or wherever the Africans are.
Yeah.
They think that they are doing a service to God. Right? Their eyes are first of all, we should pray to let God enlighten them and let the scales, just like
Fall
how the
off,
scales fall off the Apostle Paul's eyes.
Yep.
We got to find out, we got to pray so that
go forth.
That go forth and that the scale would fall off, that they, like me, it's just a revelation, God. And to get this revelation, you got to have a hungry.
Yes.
You got to have a hunger for God.
Yes.
You gotta want to go into His Word.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
You gotta want to know His thoughts, you know. And so, doing that, I believe God have no reason not to open your eyes if you want to seek after Him.
Yes.
He said to seek Him and you
Yes.
shall find Him.
Yes.
So I believe, Pastor Russell, that that's the first thing. And then the next thing is to be yourself. I mean, when you're going to witnessing to, and not only the African Americans or whatever, anybody at all, just be yourself. People don't like phonies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You see what I mean?
Right.
If you just be yourself, and I believe that will go a long way.
Yes.
You know, being yourself, and you know, and come to them with love and
Yes.
understanding.
Yes.
And I think that's one of a couple of the requests that you need to do. you know?
Yes, and you know what, you're right, because you know what we're facing is people only read half the ketubah. You know, and the ketubah is the wedding contract,
Right.
And that's what the Bible is. It's God's wedding contract with His people. It says, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to bless you in this way. And I think a lot of times we come from a place where we didn't get the full ketubah.
Right.
And now we're getting the full understanding. And that's when we're celebrating the feast days. We're coming together on we're here on Sukkot. We're here on the middle of Sukkot. We're here, we're sitting down as a body of believers, giving glory to our God, understanding that the nations are coming back, and you are one of the nations represented here. And that's what is exciting, is when we begin to see this happen, it is a witness that the bride is coming together. We are coming together to meet our King.
Amen.
And so I'm excited about this conversation because I think that the church as a body, as a whole, we are going to be reaching so many nations.
Right.
It's all about the souls. And what I really want to get back to with you is you talked about prayer, how prayer is going to break the bounds of the enemy, which is in Africa, we need prayer. I mean, there is so many voodoo, so many different things. I mean, you can go on and on and on.
Yes.
It is a spiritual bondage, if you want to call that. So you're right on prayer. Second thing you said is be yourself. Go out there and engage with people.
Yes,
and if I know we only have a little bit of short time here, but I really wanted just to kind of get your last kind of thoughts on this. Is as we begin to engage the African American, the African from actually Africa, from all over the world. You know, it could be so many. There's so many different variations of it. But is there anything there that you could give me an insight on?
Well, one of the things, they need to have Yeshua in their life.
Yes.
First and foremost.
Absolutely.
Because everything is centered around Yeshua.
Yes.
Yeah, because without Him, none of this is possible. Right? Because, I mean, He is the one that paid the price that caused us to come into this. And so He gave His life for us that we might live.
Yes.
God has just miracle. I would say it's just miraculously changed my life. You know, my perspective of looking at life. I used to be, very anxious. I used to worry a lot. I used to, I used to not really, going through. I was just going through the motions. But when I came into this, and I have to do the feast days, you're looking forward to what God, wanted you to do. The feast days. This is His feast day, and so, when the feast day, I'm just excited.
And you know what is exciting is the feast days are the beginning of the journey into the greatest revelation anyone's ever seen.
Amen.
Paul, you've been awesome. Thank you so much. This has been a blessing. I know if you guys have been blessed, you guys today, give him a hug. And I'm just telling you guys right now, this is a life-changing message. It's reaching out across the globe. And I really, really, really want to encourage you today that if you've been on the discouragement track, be encouraged today. Your nation is going to be next. You're coming into this. Everyone is coming back to this because you know why? God is calling you back. And so you are called here to Beit Tehila because you were called by God. And so we just want to bless everyone today. Thank you, Paul, again for everything you did and all the words. And we just want to speak blessings. Amen. Bless you guys.
Amen. Thank you.